And we're back with Game 3 and the conclusion to this semifinals match Play Hard Pickleball event hosted at Lifetime in Parker, Colorado. These guys are tied 1-1 for the match, and the winner goes on to play for gold. We've got Jed Pettit and Brad Meyer on the close side, and Ben Campbell and Yahya Imam on the far side. Jed's kicking us off, 0-0-2 with a loud serve. A nice patient point, and then Jed and Brad saw their opportunity to get to the net and just hit that one long. So we've got a quick side out for Ben and Yahya. Nice driving crash from Ben gets them on the board early. You may say Ben and Yahya are the favorites for this event. They went undefeated in the round robin and are defending champions of the last Play Hard Pickleball event they teamed up. So these guys are definitely the team to beat. And thus far, Brad and Jed are the only team that has taken a game off of them. Some great hands from Brad. He really leans into the kitchen and extends to take that ball as early as possible. There's been a few incidents where it seemed like he thought he was going to fall in even, but he really takes time away from his opponent when he's leaning in like that. Really tried to dig that one off of his shoelaces. Good spot from Yahya, just going right at his feet. Brad ends up on the ground a lot. He's always going for balls that a lot of people would just give up on, but he also has a flair for the dramatic, as you just got to see. Jed looking for the Russian crush, but just grazed the tape and that one bounced long. Brad putting that ball really deep in Ben's court, had a hard time getting it over, but it may have skipped off the line too and just created a little bit of a different bounce for Ben. If you've ever played indoor on a court like this, or maybe even a freshly painted court, you may have experienced some skips of your own and know what I'm talking about. Ben's short hop floated a little bit, and Brad took the opportunity, reached in, and got aggressive with that ball and was able to finish the point low to Ben's feet. Great spots from Brad. So we've got 0-2-1. Nice job from Jed. Whoa, Jed is going all over the place trying to find some opportunities to cause some mayhem. First he was looking to poach and then waiting for the Ernie. I don't mind the moves. It's definitely got to at least create some chaos on the court. Maybe get in your opponent's head a little bit. Jed definitely has a style where he detaches from his partner often. He's always moving around, looking for poaches, and he's a very creative pickleball player. Patient point working their way to the kitchen, but that last one just fell short from Jed. So these guys did get on the board. So we've got 2-1-1. And there he goes again. These guys are being really patient, just moving the dinks around. We had a couple guessing games in the first half of this match. Any guesses for who will pull the trigger first on this one? And it was Jed again. He did a really low flick to try to start something there with Ben, and Ben was on top of it, got the upper hand, and was able to finish that point. So these guys are at 3-1-1. A beautiful drop from Ben. Jed tried to take that as a volley, just dink it over, concede the kitchen, but didn't make it happen. So we've got 4-1-1. Yahya looking to reach in and do a volley speed up down Brad's line, but it went a little high and Brad was on it, and Jed was able to tag Ben with that last ball. And we got a little cameo from Tony Starkey crossing the court. I won't give up who it is, but one of these two teams is going to play him for gold. Ooh, a couple potential outballs hit there. That speed up from Yahya kind of started this whole thing. A great dig from Ben on that one, but floated high enough that Jed was able to slide and put that ball away. So we've got a side out. It looks like Brad and Jed are not stacking on this point. Some nice power from Ben. He really leaned into the kitchen to get that ball at Jed's feet as quickly as he could and caught Jed on a scramble, moving back to fade the heat. We're definitely seeing a lot more of these patient points as we get deeper into this match. Another scorpion block from Jed. I like that choice from Brad, although it did sail a little long. When you're deeply engaged in these dink points, throwing in a lob when your opponents are really set on the kitchen line, it's a great way to create some offense. Yahya driving through transition after their serve. I like that for these two. They seem to do really well with the aggressive points, and Brad and Jed are perfectly fine with just dinking until they get the right ball to attack. So I'd like to see Ben and Yahya turn up the heat a little bit. A missed return, and now Ben and Yahya are at 6, so these guys are going to switch sides. I'd really like to see Brad and Jed maybe mix up a stack here or there, give them a different look, because they've been stuck, and there's a pretty big points deficit right now. It's do or die for Jed and Brad. Ooh, and a drive into the tape from Yahya. He may have realized these guys were switching and went to find that open court where Brad was going to be filling in the gap, but didn't quite work out as planned. A speed up off the bounce from Yahya. I think he was trying to find Jed's backhand side, but he's creeped so far into the middle, and with his unique grip, he was all over it and was able to finish that behind Yahya. So a great battle from all of them, but Jed came out on top that time. So they're opting to stack on this one, and they really need to convert some points here. And Jed's block going high. Yahya kind of slid into his backhand to put that one right down the middle. And Brad's on the ground again. So we've got 1-6-2. Yahya looking to take this with his forehand. Kind of got jammed up, but rolled the ball wide to the sideline and then finished up with an aggressive shot right at Jed, which was a great play. There's some great awareness from Yahya. Hits the drive and popped that last one up. Jed saw an opportunity for the Ernie, but as Brad slid over to cover the middle of the court, Yahya found the open space. So great play from Yahya. Way to find that empty spot. So we're going to have 7-1-1. Good hands from Brad. Nice play from Ben. He got a floater and attacked and a man down on the other side of the net. That's a challenge for Jed, I'm sure. The way he gets so low and holds his paddle to scorpion blocks, if the ball is going down, there's not a lot he can do to adjust in time. And another point for Ben and Yahya. They are really pulling ahead. This is dire for Brad and Jed to stop them and start putting some points on the board. Ben fading a bit to his right allowed him to get his forehand on that ball. Good block, and then Yahya just could not get that short hop over. So we've got a second server. And Ben and Yahya with the shake and bake. Another nice aggressive point for these two. So they're going to be a 9-1-2. I think his placement was the problem. He popped it up trying to redirect it at Jed, which in turn caused Ben to get burned by that ball. I know hindsight is 2020, but a flick down Brad's line would have been a great shot there. Brad was creeping in the middle and had a lot of space behind him. I think Yahya would have put them in a great position to win that point if he had chosen that shot instead. And I just have to tell you because it's so ridiculous. I have said Bread and Jad so many times that I've had to re-record a bunch of segments. It's just been so hilarious to me that I wanted to share that with you. So we've had another side out, and Brad and Jad, I'm just kidding. Brad and Jed are still stuck. They've got an 8-point deficit. And here they go. They've got another opportunity. Looks like they're going to choose to stack on this round. I really want to see them get a few points. Oh man, and a missed drop from Brad.
Thanks for all you're doing today.
A nice counter on Ben's speed up, and these guys are on the move. So we've got 2-9-2.
Yeah, sounds good.
Some great balls from Ben. Jed tried to soften this one up, but it popped up just enough for Ben to really roll that one right behind him. So we've got another side out, 9-2-1. Nice aggression from Ben. Jed tried to warn Brad that that one ball was going long, but it's just happening so fast. It's really hard to lay off that ball if you're locked in. So Ben and Yahya are at match point right here, 10-2-1. A great drop from Ben and a nice finish right at Brad's body. Kind of jammed him up a little bit, and that'll do it. Brad and Jed will go on to play for bronze, and Ben and Yahya are moving on to the finals to face David and Tony. That match will be up in the coming days, so keep your eyes out. If you want some spoilers or just to keep up to date on the tournaments we're hosting in Colorado, follow me at playhard_eroy on Instagram.